Good afternoon, everybody. You're tuning in right now to an Around the Ropes YouTube exclusive right here. As always, I am joined with Carl. Carl, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing phenomenal. Can't wait for this interview. It'll be a blast.
Yes. Now, guys, if you know, we have been parading a lot of announcements lately, and one of the announcements is regards to Celeb Fest 5, coming up in 13 days, actually, to say the least. And the man behind it all, the man who put it all together, is on with us this afternoon, Chad Clark. Chad, how you doing today, buddy?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, we appreciate it big time. Now, obviously, I know we had you on prior, coming out after Celeb Fest 4. So for people who may not know, how did you get this whole Celeb Fest thing actually started?
Well, I've always been to sports memorabilia and things like that. And then during the pandemic, it kind of died off. Everyone died off. And then we went to the big event in New York and was our first thing, dipped our feet in the wrestling business a little bit. We took the Headbangers there and did super, super well with them. And I kind of looked around and was like, we don't have anything like this in our area. Why not? So I came home in March, immediately got a building. That was over on Saturday. I come home Monday. I secured a building. I started calling vendors, and it's just steamrolled from there. And here we are on my fifth one, a little over a year later.
Real quick, that one that you were at the big event, was that headlined by Paul White?
Yes.
During the
I
met you then.
Yeah, I was there. We had the Headbangers there.
Yes, because I was there with Mr. Henry.
It was cool, man. That was my first taste of it. I've been to horror cons but the wrestling world, the wrestling business, the wrestling industry is a different animal, and I love it.
Oh yeah, total different.
I talk about passion. I'm really vested in sports, but it doesn't hold a candle to the wrestling business.
No. The sports fans are on a totally different level than the wrestling fans.
It is a love and a passion like I've never seen before.
Well, also, I mean, you're in Baltimore. Baltimore's always known as one of the rowdiest crowds when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah, we have quite the fan base here.
Oh, yeah. But, Carl?
So, what actually got you into doing a convention itself? Not just Celeb Fest. What got you into doing the conventions?
Well, kind of during the pandemic, man, we didn't do shit but, stay in the house and get fatter and watch the TV and junk TV, that's reality TV stuff. And my buddy was like, man, they're starting to let up a little bit in New York. They're doing signings and doing a convention up there. We ought to take, we should go up there. So I called a couple buddies that were already in the wrestling business, and I was like, who's good to work with? And they, I remember the Headbangers wrestled here for Maryland Championship Wrestling back in '98 when they first started. So it was like, yeah, let's do it. They were affordable. They were cool to work with. They're great guys. Every time I see them, it's like family. So they're good guys.
And that's the best part about wrestling. Everything is family.
Yeah, it's really tight. I like it.
No.
And it can also go against you the other way. If you're not good to one of the guys,
mm-hmm.
or you don't, something happens, it travels very fast.
Yes.
Yeah. I learned one thing, especially doing this show now for almost a year. You get respect from a lot of people, but the second you screw somebody over, it will spread like wildfire.
You can't outrun social media, no matter what you do or what you say, or even in the bigger platforms. If you say something on social media, or screenshots will catch you every time.
Yep.
Oh yeah. But now looking ahead to Celeb Fest 5 happening in 13 days. What's your thoughts and feelings going into it, being that we're less than 2 weeks away from the event itself?
Well, I'm excited. I mean, we have as usual, we have a really good lineup. I try to bring different people in each time. What's hot, what's not, kind of some of the legends that are around. But I try to keep it fresh and bringing guys that haven't done much or haven't been here in this area in a while. So I'm excited for that. But the economy is not well like other conventions. I'm seeing I did Icons in August, and they just had one this weekend that had poor attendance. One in LA last weekend that had poor attendance. I think the economy's catching up with everyone now. So, but I still expect to have at least 600 people in the building, which is still a pretty good number, for only being a year-old convention. But I think we'll have a packed house.
Carl?
So I'm going to ask one of the hard hitting questions here. When do you start planning your conventions?
I already got my next one already. Like, got a couple guests secured. I'm like working on a bigger building because we're working on something pretty big, and so I'm going to need a bigger building than what I'm used to, and more parking, and so it's going to be pretty stellar for February.
So basically, as soon as you're done Sunday night, you're Monday morning, you're working on the next one.
Yep, I'm already announced my dates for 2023, and we already have names for February. So it's once I announce my names, the vendors, most of my vendors are already starting to book celebrities for February and wrestlers for February. So it's already a work in progress right now. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot like you gotta. So this is my longest stretch from my May convention to my October convention is 5 months. So like you don't want to fire off all your big names the first week and then have nothing to have people excited for 4 months. So it was like kind of slow played some of the guests, but it's a work in progress. It starts months in advance, and it just like I said, once I even get closer to February, I'll start for May.
Okay.
Because these guys get booked, and if you don't book them, I already have a date. And with all these little pop-up conventions that are trying to jump into the workforce, it's watering down the bigger conventions like mine and the big event, Legends of the Ring, some of those other ones. So
now, obviously, you have a lot of big names at this year's event. You're gonna have Xbox there. I think I saw APA's there.
Bret Hart,
yeah.
Miro, Danhausen, Adam Page, Orange Cassidy, Dean Malenko, who's a guy that doesn't do much.
Yeah, that was a shocker when I saw that one.
Molly Holly. We have Papa Shango in gimmick, which is a rare one. So Jimmy Hart. We have Hall of Famers. We have AEW. We have some WWF guys, old school guys. We have some current WWE superstar. Candice LeRae will be there. So it's pretty good.
I think it's the last one.
Yeah,
so
I'm
just
quite sure this is their last one.
Wow.
So
now, of the people who you have there, is there one person there that you're like scratching yourself saying, "How the hell do we pull this one off?"
Oh, Mick Foley's going to be there too, by the way. Not really. Like at first it was like that, but now it's like kind of like my phone will ring and I won't know the number, and it'll be like, "Hey, this is such and such. Can I get a table to your convention?" Or I'll get a text, "Hey, this is such and such. How do I go about getting the table?" So it used to be like that, but now it's like, okay, cool, let's do it.
So
I don't really get starstruck like some of the.
I was going to say
some of the vendors like get photo ops and stuff. Like I don't really do that, and everyone gets on me like, "Hey, you should start taking more photo ops with these people," But it's just not.
It's a business.
It's a business, and if you go around,
yes, you're a family.
Like,
you're doing business,
right? You look like kind of look like you're. I don't know. It just doesn't look professional to me. So,
as they say, you're a mark if you do that.
Yes, right. And I'm definitely not that. Like, yeah, it's a business. I try to treat it as a business. I try to treat the convention, like try to be organized, try to be, like I pride myself on that. Like if I do something wrong right after the convention, I'll do like a Q&A or like, hey, what could I change for next time? And I'm pretty guys, like I'm pretty hard on myself. Like last time it was hot. It was brutally hot. Like, and the building was fine until all the people got in and it just got hot. And it was, mid-May, which you didn't think it would be, excruciating like it was, but it was hot. So a few things with the Sting line and a few other things we're working on, but we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, Carl and I have kind of learned that from past conventions we've been at. It could be a cold day outside. You have hundreds and hundreds of people pile into a room. All of a sudden, it gets really warm.
Last February, we did a Celeb Fest 3 in a venue that was a little bit smaller than the one we're used to, and it was so cold outside. And I don't like making people wait outside, but can't have them in the building because the room like size wise, we needed to be able to walk around and get everything set up. But God bless them for that. It was cold.
Yeah, Carl.
So when you have the talent contacting you, are you sometimes shocked that they know who you are?
Yeah, that part for me is like when I'm at other conventions, people are like, "Hey, don't you run the Baltimore Celebfest?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "We love it. We can't wait to the next one." And And that's cool to me. Like, and when, most of these people, like like if I go to a convention and I'll see a talent, I'll go up and introduce myself. They're like, "Oh yeah, I heard about your show," that kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. That's the biggest thing, like, that I take pride in, is like, we put, from zero, there was no conventions here, to putting one on the map. That's like what I think is one of the biggest ones on the East Coast. So
I'll put it this way: it's one of the more recognizable ones.
right. I mean, obviously you have ones that have been around for 20 years and all, but like, to be in that category or even spoke about in that same phrase is like pretty amazing to me still. So I love that part of it. Like, it's, one thing I take pride in.
Well, the funny part is, when you think of conventions now, it's like, okay, you have the big event, you have icons, and then it's like, oh yeah, you have Celeb Fest.
Yeah.
The top three right there.
Yeah.
Not even the top. Well, you're in the top 5, but you're the top 3. It's like, what did I do? What am I doing right?
Yeah. Well, I don't look at it that way. I'm like, what do I do wrong? Because if I'm there now with doing a few things wrong, when I correct those, where can I take it? So we're going to step up in February, and we're going to try something. We're going to throw a curveball, and we're going to, try to do something. We're going to take it on a big scale, and hopefully it works. And then it's going to be like that from here on out.
Well, one thing, we will definitely be a part of it going further.
Absolutely.
We will definitely be a part of it. But I mean, yeah, we mentioned names before. You got Candice LeRae, WWE superstar. I mean, folks, if you have it, are tickets available?
Yeah, we have tickets available on BaltimoreCelebFest.com. There is some pre-sale links for some of the talent. If it's not a pre-sale link, it will be cash day of at the table. Our talent's going to be, we're going to have a ticket table for admission. Everybody that bought a pre-sale ticket online, we're going to switch it for a hard ticket, because we had some incidents. So everything's going to be at the admission table for our talent: Adam Page, Bryce Remsburg, and Layla Gray. For the VIPs, we have a free autograph guest. We're going to announce probably a few days before. It'll be on some brand. We'll have some photos, some branded photos with the IPO Marketing Group logo on it, or one of my other company's logos on it, or sponsor logos on it.
And folks, you definitely are not going to want to miss this event, because not only do you have a lot of big name talents, you're also going to have 2 podcasts there.
Yeah, we have you guys around the ropes, and we have the Bob Culture podcast.
Yes.
We have over 50. We have over 50 of the best names in wrestling yesterday, today, and tomorrow, for everyone to come meet. I mean, if we got something for everyone's budget. We have great vendors that sell merchandise, shirts, figures, magazines, everything you need. We have all kind of merchandise vendors. I think we're going to have the Luigi Primo guy is going to be there with one of our sponsors, Sam's Subs and Pizza.
Nice.
Doing some pizzas. It's going to be a good event. Something for everyone.
I know one promotion is bringing in some good friends of ours, the Busted Open.
Oh yeah, Kane Parker Promotions is bringing in Busted Open. They're bringing in Christine Marie.
Yep. Christina Marie.
Luigi Primo. Who else? Alicia Tout. They got a pretty good lineup themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be. But folks, like I said, you're not going to want to miss this event. This is an event that, yeah,
you don't want to miss this at all.
No. Carl and I are making the trip from, all the way up here to go to it.
Believe it or not, a lot of my attendants, I would say probably 25% are from the New York, New Jersey marketplace. That tells you I got guys driving 3 hours to come see me. So come see the show. You won't miss it. It's great. We something for everybody.
And you want to be back every year.
I walk around and say hi to everyone. If you know who I am, come up and say hi. Tell me if you like something. If you hate it, we can try to work on it.
Yeah, and that's the same with us. We will be there. You can meet me and Carl. Come say hi. We'll take pictures. No chest slaps, please, Carl.
No chops.
Yeah, we always try to get John to get a chop somewhere along the line.
Let me know. I know a couple people that'll chop them up if you want.
Thank you.
No, but it's going to be a good time. We're excited. Really, it's a lot of stress, but we're down the home stretch now. Once it gets inside 2 weeks, like, you just pray for no cancellations. You pray for good weather. You pray for that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. But Carl.
So going with all your vendors and all that, basically your talent, who do you want to work with the most?
man, I've been trying to get Jericho for probably since I started this, and so Jericho's the guy for me. I'm a huge Jericho fan, and he's the guy. Like, so I'm going to push hard for 2023 to get him out. Not saying where, but there's some dates close to home to him we're going to try to work on.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That'd be
You just blew John's mind on that one.
But Chad, I mean, obviously you said before, and we'll get back into Celeb Fest stuff in a second. You said, you are not only a sports fan, but you're also a wrestling fan. What got you into wrestling?
Just as a kid, man, like I would go with my stepfather, my mom, to his mom's house, and she was a huge wrestling fan. So we'd go over there, and wrestling would be on Saturday afternoon. So we'd watch it, and I just kind of got into it that way. And I've always been a fan, even going into matches, chasing around autographs at the hotels and outside the wrestling buildings. That's what kind of mainly got me into all of the autograph stuff, baseball stadiums, hotels, airports, wherever. I was a mark for sure. So that's why, again, I'm so again, like now that I'm on the other side of it, I don't do any of that stuff.
Chad, before we went live, you and I spoke, and we're about the same age. Do you remember the old Bumblebee? What was it? Killer Bees.
Yeah, B. Brian Blair and Jim Brunzell.
Would you ever try and get them to come?
They were booked actually for second show, Baltimore Celebfest 2, and the vendor, he's a known pull-out artist, pulled them out. So, but I definitely would like to get them in at some point, or one of my vendors will. I can push. Some of my vendors will be like, "Who would do good?" And I always try to be like, this one hasn't been here, that one hasn't been here. I try to steer them, to make good decisions. And they would do great. I think they would do great. They haven't been here. We're 5 shows in and they haven't been here yet. So they're in those WW encyclopedias, which is a good thing. I think they both have action figures, so they would do well.
Yeah. I mean, well, Carl, you have another question? I forgot mine.
So from our era, Chad, meaning you and I, besides Bret Hart and that, who else would you love to get on the show from our era?
I worked with Hogan. I did a signing with Hogan. Man, there's so many names back then. I would like to actually, and I have been trying for like the whole time since day one. Honky Tonk Man I would like to bring him in. He hasn't been here yet. He doesn't do a whole lot, but we haven't been able to connect. So he's a guy. I liked his gimmick. I liked, that era was great. There were characters back then. There's not a lot of that now. We have like a lot of cookie cutter looking guys, and back then we had, like Honky Tonk Man looked like Elvis. We had Doink the Clown. We had Junkyard Dog.
Doink.
Yes, we had Demolition. We had the Road Warriors. We just had Coco Beware. We had all these guys, man. Like, it was just great. It was the Mountie. We had, characters that you see, like cartoonish like people. Now it's all the same. You can not watch for 3-4 weeks and go back, and it's still the same thing going on. Same looking guys on the TV. So.
Well, another name from that era that I think would be good for Celeb Fest is Barry Horowitz.
Barry was at Celeb Fest 3. See, that's crazy. I can remember when you say a guy, I can tell you exactly what show he was at. He was at Celeb Fest 3. Richie Sorrentino, Good Times Guaranteed, brought him in. So I have a steel trap.
Barry's a good friend of ours.
Barry's a good dude. I like Barry.
Yeah.
I met Barry last year when WrestleMania was in Tampa. There was a small convention, and we took Maria Kanellis and Terry Reynolds there. And he was there. That's kind of his hometown area. So I'm sure if we do the show in the convention in Tampa, he's going to bring himself in and come on down.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, you guys talked about the guys from your era. I mean, go a little bit closer, to my era, which is like late 90s, early 2000s. Who would you want to bring in?
Yeah, I work with a lot of those guys. But if Macho Man was alive, that would be over at the top. He would trump everybody to me. I don't know, man. Like I've worked with most of those guys from that era that were big. We missed a shot to bring Scott Hall in because of COVID, and he passed away unfortunately. Scott would have been a great. Like I really wanted to work with Scott. I don't know, man. Like it's tough. Like I worked with a lot of those guys. I never got to work with Bobby Eaton. That's what I'm more like upset about, the guys I didn't ever get to work with. I'll tell you a guy right now who's my bucket list guy. He won't do anything, and he would absolutely kill it. He would make $1 million. Is Jim Cornette.
Oh, hell yeah.
His podcast is so over. He's over. Like he from that era of back, late 80s, early 90s, he was the guy. He was the manager. And he doesn't do much, so people would definitely come out and there'll be a line around the building to meet Jim. So
Oh yeah.
Did you ever work with Crowbar?
With who?
Crowbar?
No, I never worked with Crowbar. He's been at conventions I've been at, but I've never worked with him.
Okay.
He's in Jersey, right? He's a Jersey guy, right?
Oh, yes, he is.
I got his number. Like somebody gave me his number, but I've never worked with him. Somebody was going to bring him, but I don't know whatever happened with that. I think he would be pretty good here. He hasn't been here yet.
I think you're giving Carl some ideas for next year's Celeb Fest events.
It is less than 4 months away. It's less than 120 days away. It's about 110 days away.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Trying to secure a bigger venue. I got to have a big venue for what we're trying to do here. So we'll have one within the next, within 2 weeks post Celeb Fest 5. We'll have a building secure. I'm going to meet with a couple buildings, in the next couple weeks. So.
Yeah.
We're going to need a 3,000 capacity spot, I'm sure.
Wow. Now, obviously, I know your other passion is sports, and we actually just started a sports show network. I want to get your thoughts quickly. How do you think of the Orioles this year?
Man, well, this is funny because until the end of the year, I represent Gunnar Henderson, who's their big prospect. He was the number one prospect in baseball. He got called up about a month ago, and he's been destroying the ball. Good kid. I'm excited. They're going to be at least 500 when they were predicted to lose 100 games. So the future is bright here in Birdland. Not yesterday's football game wasn't that bright, but yeah, I think the Orioles are going to be a playoff team next year. Honestly,
hey, they're young enough and they're hungry enough, and
I think they're going to catapult how they finish this year into next year, and they're going to be a force.
Yep.
Yeah, especially, unfortunately, they do have some tough competition, but I think they can. I mean, I've seen the Yankees play them a number of times, and the Yankees always have a problem when it comes to playing in Baltimore.
Our problem down the stretch was like when we could have gained a game or two here and there, we lost.
You guys play against me and my team, and you basically take it from us.
Yeah, but you guys always bounce back the next year, every year after a bad year.
Not really.
But you guys spend the money.
It's splitting. I'll say we'll split. Like if you take the entire series 1 year, we'll split it the next year.
I think next year we're going to be, everybody's problem.
Yeah,
we have the number one farm system in baseball.
Yes,
we're got a good young team. So I think with the prospects we have, we can make some moves, and then next season we're going to be there. I think starting pitching was our problem a little bit, but I think we lost more one-run games than anybody in baseball, which is, something you got to.
But also, too, your team does something that other teams don't do anymore.
What's that? Win?
No. You try to get on base. You don't go for the home runs. You play Little League Baseball.
That's how you win games.
Exactly. So, yeah, you might lose by 1 run, which is a worst thing in the world, but you play small ball.
I'm glad that a lot of rule changes for next year you're going to impact a lot of teams that are like, they win because of the defense is really good because of they do the shift. Next year, no shift. Yep. You'll see who can hit and who can't hit next year. I think averages are going to be a lot higher. I think games are going to score a lot more runs.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, what I find interesting also is they're now going to have a clock in between each pitch now to kind of speed up the game.
Well, I mean, I think the shit without the shift and all that time that they have to do all that, I think it's going to be about the same. But I think the games are going to be like, you're going to see a lot more 8-7 games and 10-9 games or 10-4 games. It's going to be a lot of runs scored next year.
Well, obviously, you being a baseball fan, I want to get your take on this. They announced that there's supposedly something in the works about getting rid of the umpires for, I think, the 2024 season.
What are they going to do?
Going all computer.
Wow. It's going to be like Madden Live for real. Or like MLB Live, the show for real.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Everything's going computerized.
It's insane.
Well, did they implement this year or is it next year? Oh, John's got a problem. I'll take care of that for right now. The DH, wasn't that implemented for this year or was it for next year?
This year there's DH in both leagues now.
Yes.
Well, next year they're going to do away with the runner starting on second base and extra innings.
Oh, thank God.
The service time, they got to, the service time thing. Why these teams don't bring their prospects up because they don't want to mess with their service time. They're doing away with that. So it's going to be a different game next year. I'm pretty excited.
So, talking about the sports, you have the IPO marketing. How'd you come up with that concept?
Actually, when I started, it was me and my brother-in-law during the pandemic. Like I did the memorabilia and stuff. So we kind of did it together initially to, have something to do, during the pandemic. We did some baseball signings, some football signings. And then he's got the credit for the name, but I love it. It's IPO stands for In Pursuit Of.
That's perfect. I like it.
So,
and I like the logo design.
That my graphic guy did, but I have to have a crown. I like it. It's kind of noble. It's kind of strong. I like it. And I'm back.
Yeah. Sorry about that. For some reason, my laptop, despite the fact that I don't have it plugged in, my laptop almost overheated. I don't know how. I have to look into the sentence, but I do apologize.
All these hot topics we're talking about.
Yeah. Speaking about a hot topic in the Baltimore area, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, you just hit. I don't
know how you can pay the guy the money after. He's performing well, like his numbers are good, but like yesterday, interception, crucial time of the game. I don't know how much money is enough for some of these guys, but like if you love the game and you want to play, you take some money and you play the game. You don't have to set ultimate. If we don't sign a contract by this day or whatever, I'm not doing it. Like if you want to play for this team in this organization, you work it out. So, and if you franchise him next year, it's going to be $45 million. So you better get a deal done where he's less than $45 million for a year, because the following year is $50 million if you franchise him twice. So that's $100 million for over 2 years, and he turned down $230 over 5. So
yeah, no offense, he ain't worth it
because it wasn't guaranteed. I think that guy's a running quarterback. It's kind of hard to give a guy a 5-year contract, a guy that runs the way he does. So, hey, but I don't know. I'm not a general manager. I don't have $300 million to pay anyone. So I don't know. If I did have it, I wouldn't pay him, guaranteed.
Well, I think the problem is also with somebody like him, paying him that many years, where you see quarterbacks that move like him don't have long careers.
Nope. He'll probably do 7 years, probably 8 years. Or unless he changes his game and he's a pocket passer, which who knows if he might be able to do it. He's got quite an arm, but
yeah, but it's funny. Look at a great example of somebody also from the DC area with the Redskins. The Commanders. I have to say
get it right. Even though they changed their name, they will always be known as the Redskins.
And correct. That's Robert Griffin III.
Yeah, but he blew his knee out and he was never the same.
Yeah. Nope. But that's why I'm just saying that
he couldn't pass the way Lamar passes.
Yeah, I still remember when the Ravens took him. I think, what was it, 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I don't know if he backed up Joe 1 year. No, it was 18 the year Lamar was drafted.
Yeah, but I think it was towards the end of the first round, if I remember correctly.
Who? Robert Griffin?
No, with Lamar.
Oh, Lamar was 2017, number 30. He was the last pick in that round.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Round.
Yeah, that was the year that the NFL draft, the first round, was loaded with quarterbacks. and somehow he slipped through the cracks all the way down to the last pick of the first round.
Yeah, that guy. What was the guy's name? The Jets drafted. Now he's backing up Baker Mayfield in Carolina.
Oh, Sam Darnold.
Yes.
That's a guy. That guy is terrible. There's like 10 guys that were or 8 guys that were drafted in front of Lamar that like suck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that if I remember correctly, that was the same year the Giants took Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he was a first rounder.
And yeah, I'm a Giants fan, and I'm not impressed with him.
But listen, Cleveland shot themselves in the foot in that draft. They could have took Josh Allen. They could have taken Barkley first and had Josh Allen at 4, and they could look at the team. Look, they would be phenomenal.
But again,
Josh Allen is great. I don't take anything away from him. He's a good quarterback, tough guy.
But Chad, you just said it perfectly. It's Cleveland we're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, but Cleveland won yesterday, so they helped us out. We're a 3-way tie for first place in our division.
Yeah,
at
but
2-2.
But your division, the AFC North, there, everybody says the NFC East is a tough division. Nah, the AFC North.
Well, see, now in the 5th game of the year, we're already in a must-win division game against Cincinnati on Sunday Night Football. Like we could easily be 4-0 if we were coached properly.
That's the problem. A lot of teams don't have proper coaches.
We gave up 21. We gave up a 21-point lead against Miami and lost, and then we gave up a 17-point lead yesterday and lost. Not good.
No.
Both games, John Harbaugh went for a 4th and goal instead of a field goal. That would have both games we would have either tied the game yesterday or won the game against Miami in week 1. So week 2.
I can't say anything because my team lost to the Packers.
Patriots.
Mm-hmm. And here's even the worst part. We actually did a pick on our show Saturday. And basically everybody was picking their team to win. And when it came time for me, they turned and says, okay, Patriots, Packers. I'm like, who do you think I'm picking? And they're like, Patriots. I was like, nope, I'm picking the Packers.
At home, they definitely.
That's what the crucial point was. The Packers were home. Not only that, Mac Jones is injured.
Yeah, we did that
if
too.
Mac Jones was still playing, the Patriots had a better shot.
Yep.
They ended up playing their 3rd-string quarterback, who they just drafted this year, because Brian Hoyer got injured in the 2nd quarter.
Brian Hoyer. He's still getting a payday.
Yeah.
What about Joe Flacco still doing the damn thing?
He's still with the Jets.
He started up until yesterday. They were at 2-1. They're 3-1 now, or 2-2. I don't know what that.
Well,
Joe is a great quarterback.
Taken out because of concussion.
I love Joe. Joe has 42,000 career passing yards, a Super Bowl ring, Super Bowl MVP. Joe, in my opinion, Joe's a Hall of Famer. Will he get in?
If he retires today, okay, and he was going to go into the Hall of Fame, I would rather see him go in as a Raven than any other team.
Well, I don't think they do it like baseball. They just get a gold jacket and a statue. So I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think you get to pick what team you get to go in as. But I mean, you talk about that 2012 Ravens team, and I remember I went to school in no, not even that. I went to Israel that year with a lot of people from Baltimore who were diehard Ravens fans, and that was the only thing they were all talking about was that run that year.
Oh, that Joe had 11 touchdowns, no interceptions, 120 quarterback rating. It was beautiful.
Yeah. But I mean, look at that defense though with Lewis and
that's the problem. I was talking to James Ellsworth today about we had Ed Reed, we had Ray Lewis, we had Suggs, we had all these Rod Woodson in 35 when we had Super Bowl 30. We had all these. We're used to great defenses, and what we have now is like mediocre at best.
Unfortunately, you just had the one guy pass away that played for you guys.
Tony Saragusa?
Yeah.
Or Jalen Ferguson? We had 2 guys in 1 week.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, Tony
that was the bigger name.
Tony was a good dude. He was and he was an announcer for Fox, I believe. He was just funny. Funny dude. Great guy.
That was a shocker to see him pass away.
Yep. The Goose was a good dude.
But I just think, to me, you look at the Ravens right now, that division that they're in, I don't care who's in that division. I always look forward, and this is coming from a Giants fan, I always look forward to the Baltimore-Pittsburgh games,
Oh, yeah.
Cincinnati-Cleveland games. Because you know those.
You know what's funny is the day of Celeb Fest, the Giants play the Ravens in New York. So I'm gonna have a TV in the room, the main room, and I'm gonna have in the lobby. I'm gonna have a couple TVs going. So
I saw that. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah. So Carl, if you see me walk away from the table for a few minutes, you'll know why.
Yeah. So when you walk away, I'll be there, and then when you're there, I'll do my networking like I always do.
Yep. Hey, all I know is this: I'm a Giants fan at heart. But I mean, Chad, you look at the Ravens right now, and then we'll get back into Celeb Fest in a second. Like I said before, I don't care who you put against them. You give me Ravens Steelers, I will watch that game anytime.
I'm gonna watch it. I really don't keep an eye on much football. I'm like mainly a homer. Orioles, Ravens, and that's just my thing. Like I'm a sports guy, but like I spend so much of my life following and chasing it around. I'm just watch and turn it off. I'm a little upset. Like today, I'm still pissed about yesterday, but I'll be okay tomorrow. On to Sunday night football, tailgating and football. And then after that's over, the following Sunday is Celeb Fest.
It's known as game day for you.
Well, I have the whole week. Like, actually, no, because my weekend will start Friday whenever Greg Valentine lands. I have to pick him up, come to my house, take him. I got a private signing with Mick Foley that night, and then Saturday I'm still trying to find something for Greg. Oh no, Saturday I have Greg at MCW and Layla Gray at MCW for the pre-show, and then Sunday Celeb Fest.
Yeah, it's actually funny to see that Mick is going to be there. It's the first time I actually met Mick Foley, God, 20-something years ago when he came to my elementary school. And he signed. This is when he was doing the books. He was still writing. I think it must have been his first book. I'll never forget the story. They had told me that he was coming in because he's, out here on Long Island. Mick Foley is raved out here.
Oh, he's from Long Island, right?
Uh-huh. And he had just come out. I think it was his first book he had just come out with. And I remember I'm like, and my dad had gotten the book, and he goes, "Oh, try to see if you can get Mick Foley to sign it." I'm like, no, he's not going to want to. Also, my teacher comes up to me after the thing, and she goes, "John, someone wants to meet you." And I'm like, who? And they bring me in, and Mick Foley standing right there.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's going to be nice to run into a fellow Long Islander there. But, Carl?
So getting back to Celeb Fest right now. You have one huge sponsor, Jimmy's Seafood.
Oh, no, Jimmy's doesn't sponsor.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, I have Sam's Subs and Pizza. I have Dr. D's Wrestling Showcase. I have Charm City Home Inspectors, and we sponsor it. We eat at Jimmy's quite a lot. I'm at Jimmy's a lot because he's good in the community.
This will be the first time I'm actually eating at Jimmy's when we're down there.
I do some events there. I got a baseball and bourbon event there in November. Plus, I eat there quite frequently.
Yeah,
Sam Subs and Pizza. If you want a good cheesesteak, like really good food, they got great food.
I'm a cheesesteak guy.
They had I ate there. I was like, let me try the food. He sponsors. Let me go try the food. Man, phenomenal. Krabby fry. He has that, man. Everything's good there. He's like, do you want to take
Krabby fries?
Yeah, he's got Krabby fries. We sat inside there and ate. Me and my buddy. Oh my God, it was great. It was.
John,
great.
I think I know where we're going for lunch.
Yeah. Yep.
The lunch is good.
There for lunch and Jimmy's for dinner.
Yep.
Chad, you have to realize it's the first time myself and Carl will actually be in Baltimore.
Well, it'll be the first time for me in Baltimore as a wrestling fan. I've been down there for Clash trips.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I've driven through Baltimore because my grandmother used to live in assisted living in Maryland, but I never actually have been in Baltimore.
Well, we're on the outskirts. We're not like downtown in
Mhm.
the shooting gallery. We're on the outskirts in the suburbs, probably like 20 minutes outside of the city. But if you
You're
guys are
out by
coming
the
down from
airport.
Jersey, if you're coming from Jersey, you'll come down 95. You'll go right past Jimmy's.
Okay.
And when you get closer to our venue, Sam's Subs and Pizza is literally like 6 miles from our venue. So
Where
both,
John and I are staying is literally right around the airport.
yeah, that's where I put some of my people at the airport. It's easier. They come right in, put them in a hotel. The venue is only like 6 miles from the airport.
Yep. That's
Very
why
close.
we did that.
Very close.
Yeah, but it's going to be a fun event. And obviously, folks, like I said before, if you haven't had a chance to get your tickets, I don't know why you're waiting.
Yes, they are going fast.
And you'll get to meet us.
Yeah.
You'll get to meet us there too. I mean,
You
obviously,
guys do a live show?
That's what we're hoping for.
Nice.
We're hoping to be doing a live show that day.
I would go around and see if there's any of the talent that would like to do a little live interview or something like that. If you need
Well,
help,
we
I can
know,
put you
like,
anyway.
the ones with, unfortunately, with AEW, we would have to get permission from.
Right.
But
Yeah,
anybody else that's not AEW, we can try.
Jimmy Hart's always good for it. So go see Jimmy. Jimmy would always give a sound bite or something.
That is one talent I been wanting for years.
He is the best dude, man. He is the best. I worked with Jimmy a couple times. He's the best.
and the other one, not to mark out here for a second, the other one would be Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Well, he stays in my house when he comes there. That's always a treat. He was at my house. He was at my house in July. We went to Legends of Hamburg and he stayed. And I have a recliner in like a sectional in my living room. And he was sitting in the recliner in his underwear. I said, I should get in my underwear and we can reenact that picture of you and Brutus. And he laughed.
Well, like that was with, I mean, not to the same level, but we were just in the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame back in August.
Yeah.
And at our table they were doing the inductions was Bushwhacker Luke.
Nice.
One of the sweetest guys to talk to.
He's never been here yet either.
Okay.
He's another guy that hasn't been here yet.
Yeah, Chad, I think you're giving Carl some ideas for us bringing in some people next year.
Go for it. I can if you guys need help, assistance, I can get you guys connected to some people.
We'll talk about that off air.
Yes.
But again, Chad, like I said, we appreciate we appreciate that you're giving us the opportunity to be down there and get the experience in.
I appreciate you guys coming and being interested in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Promoting.
We've been promoting this stuff big time.
Whenever you make your post, we put it right out on ours.
Nice, I appreciate it.
Yeah, but Chad, let's wrap this up now because I know I have some stuff to take care of. You have some stuff to take care of because I know you have a busy couple of weeks. Busy couple of days ahead of you.
Yes. Basically it's 10 days away for me because he comes in Friday and it's run all that weekend.
Yeah. Again, Chad, for people who may not know where the event is because they've been living under a rock for the last year or so, just where can people find the event and where can people get tickets?
We have an event page on Facebook. It's Baltimore Celebfest is the group name. We have an event page for the event called Baltimore Celebfest 5. You can get tickets at baltimorecelebfest.com. That's pretty much it. Everything's Facebook, Instagram. You can find us IPO Marketing Group, Twitter. We have all social media outlets. I got to get better at that, by the way. That's one of the things I got to work on.
You can talk to John about that. He runs our Twitter account.
I need somebody to just blast social media all day, every day.
Yeah, I can definitely show you how to do that. But again, guys, it's happening October 16th in the Baltimore area. Celeb Fest 5. You're just going to see a lot of talent there. A lot of big names are going to be there. Come by, say hi. You know, Carl and I will be there. We'll have our shirts there. You can definitely buy your official Around the Ropes podcast T-shirts. Will be for sale that day. We'll have our coffee hopefully in by then, and all that stuff. So definitely come by, say hi. We'll take pictures, sign autographs. No chops, please.
Can't promise that, John.
You need to get a shirt made that says no chops.
There's a lot of shirts we're having made up.
Yeah.
No chops.
Again, Chad, thank you so much for hopping on.
Thank you, guys.
The time. I look forward to finally meeting you in person.
Yes,
absolutely.
At the show.
Come say hi if anybody's at the event. I'll be walking around all day like a chicken with his head cut off. So say hi.
Doesn't that happen to everybody? But again, for Chad, for Carl, I'm John. This has been another installment Around the Ropes podcast. Catch you guys next time.